So funny, guys. I just cut Seth off when he was about talking. I did not know that was going to happen with the countdown. Like, I thought we could still talk during the countdown, but I literally just cut him off. So I got to apologize to you, Seth, because
that's a rookie move.
That's a rookie move.
It's a rookie move. It's all right. We're going to be giving each other shit back and forth all night anyway. So it was a rookie move. So you're all good.
It's a rookie move. Hey, look, I'm not perfect when it comes to streaming or by any means. I try my best. I do see some platforms out there that are like legitimate and have shitty. They got people like on a cam this big on their computer camera, and they're all in like a dark room and stuff.
Yeah,
and
they're using the built-in. Yeah, they're using the built-in webcam with like no lighting and
Exactly. No lighting, built-in webcam. So I think we do a little better than most. But yes, I did have a little bit of a rookie move. Guys, welcome in. This is the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast on Uncensored on YouTube. Thank you for joining our YouTube live stream tonight. We're back with Seth Bayer, man. We have a stacked show for y'all. Want to welcome back Seth. He's amazing. Thanks for coming back on, Seth.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Will. I mean, this is, again, nothing I enjoy more than chatting it up about wrestling.
I know, and I love what we got. We're going to do a little bit of Raw tonight. We're going to do Dynamite. You were live at Dynamite, so I definitely want to hear your hot take on it, So, I mean, it's going to be fun. We're going to talk a little bit about this crowd-funded Mattel Creations project that, I don't know, it may not get funded, but we have a jam-packed show for you all. We'll go here, we'll go there, we'll go everywhere tonight here on the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast, Uncensored on YouTube, live stream, baby. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SQDCircleAFP. Don't forget to obviously like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube as well. We want to build our following. And Seth, where can everybody find you out there?
You can find me on Instagram with just my name, Seth Bayer. And you can also find me on YouTube with just my name, Seth Bayer. I make it simple.
Yeah, I know. This whole Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast name needs to be refined, I think, a little bit.
Dude, honestly, there's like 50 different Squared Circle things out there, whether it's action figures, podcast, just everything.
Yes, I know. So I don't know. One day we may refine the name and stuff. I don't know. I love Squared Circle. I love the logo. This is what we're here for professional wrestling. We're in the Squared Circle. It's just an old school term that I love using. But yeah, man, thanks for coming back on with us. We had a great show last time. If you haven't checked out our last show, we basically recapped WrestleMania, all the figure reveals from that weekend, all the matches. We had a great time just chatting wrestling, talking just about everything and anything professional wrestling. So thanks again for returning. And man, let's get started really quickly here on WWE, because I think Raw was generally just a Raw, right? I mean, there wasn't really anything big that happened other than the introduction of the World Heavyweight Championship, the return of the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE. Seth, let me get your thoughts quick,
That belt is absolutely hideous. It looks, obviously the shape of it looks very comparable to the old World Heavyweight Championship belt, the WCW belt. I do not think just slapping your giant WWE logo right smack in the middle of it, is something that they should have done. Maybe they should have gone through a couple of more versions of designs or something like that, or even something that would have been cool, to really get the fans involved in it. Maybe put like a couple of different options up online and had the fans maybe do like a polling on it and then go with that design. But obviously they wanted to keep that a secret because they have plans going on right now. But I thought it was a very lackluster announcement. I think there's a lot of people out there that are confused about what this means and what it's going to do for like Roman Reigns and basically whoever wins this, is it depending on who wins it, it's going to be treated as a consolation prize, like second runner up, like, sorry, we know you can't beat Roman, but here's this instead. But yeah, that's how I feel. I just felt it was very underwhelming.
I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I don't think there's much more. I think there's a lot more actually, but I mean, it's in a gist, it's very underwhelming. It's an interesting response to the current Roman Reigns situation. I don't like the design of the belt either. I can see where, yes, you can see that there's these, kind of the outline of
Outline,
the
yeah.
is kind of mimicked here. But like you said, I mean, this is the WWE just saying we're the king, right? We're the king of the world, and we slap our big logo on everything, and that means it's important and it's special, and you should love it. And I just don't think that's right as far as the belt design goes. I think there's going to be some refining. I heard, I did hear Sean Ross Sapp say on Fightful, and I do see in the WWE shop or over the Fanatic shop, the logo pops a little more. So maybe this was just more of a introductory prototype to see what's going on. But I did see another image of this. Did you see that image, Seth? As far
On
as
the WWE shop, yeah, I saw it. It looked identical to me.
yeah, it's a little different. If we go to WWE Fanatics, hold on one second. Sorry, I got to go to all here.
It's crazy. The belt, yeah, the belt's like $500.
Yeah, well, so see, it's not similar. So this logo pops a little more than this one. See, there's got white in it.
Well, just because maybe I think it could be maybe because the way the light the light was hitting it, maybe on TV and and then on the pictures they taken. But yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, like from just aesthetically, like this was more black unless they photoshopped a lot of this in. Well, let me tell you one thing: if I don't get this belt that I'm seeing on the shop, and I get this, I'd be kind of a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you. It's kind of like false advert.
You get catfished.
Yeah, you get catfish.
Catfish.
Because this looks like the better version. It's got some silver in here. It's got some look to it. This just looks all muted in here, and it just doesn't look good.
It's just a letdown, and honestly, it's sloppy. It's sloppy seconds. I mean, that's really what it is. And again, it's like, listen, especially with the draft coming up, and Roman Reigns is going to one show, and they said whatever show Roman Reigns doesn't go to, that's the show that belt's going to be on. And the funny thing about that is that, first of all, you've already got this ongoing story with Cody, so they're not going to give it to Cody because Cody has to continue chasing Roman. That's the story. If you give it to Cody, then you're basically, if their plan is to give it to Cody, then guess what? You basically just ruined the whole Cody storyline. In my opinion, because what they're doing right now is they're repeating what I feel they're trying to do is repeat the Dusty Rhodes Hard Time storyline when he was chasing after Ric Flair for the championship belt. And I think I think they're doing that with Cody because, look at Cody's first challenge. He's going to go through Brock Lesnar. I don't think he's going to beat Brock Lesnar.
He can't. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, so I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to go on a series of losses, and then eventually the steam will pick up as it gets closer. First of all, Cody's not winning the belt until WrestleMania next year. That could be my hot take. You could take it as you will. He's not winning that championship till WrestleMania next year. As far as who I think they're going to hand that belt to, I'm more than likely it's got to go to Seth Rollins. I mean, if anybody's more deserving of it, it's anybody's deserving of it. It's Seth Rollins. And the fact that Seth Rollins still hasn't lost to Roman Reigns yet.
That is true. Yeah. And I mean, the guy is over. I'm sorry. He's just over to the moon. Yeah. Look, the belt is a consolation. We know it is. Here's what I disliked about it the most, other than it being obviously another championship. You can't put it on Cody. I agree with you. I think you put this belt on Cody and it ruins him. It ruins his story. It ruins everything. So you got to stay away from that. I do agree that it should go to Seth Rollins. I just didn't like the fact that Triple H went out there. He kind of bashes Roman. Well, he bashes Roman to a certain extent. They come up with this made up story of how, there's a 30-day clause in all this BS, which is not true. And then it's very unclear what this belt is. At first, when I first heard this happening, I thought it was like, okay, we're going to take one of the titles away from Roman. This is our, this is our new championship belt for everybody else. As I read it over and over, I realized, wow, this is actually the old title. This is the big belt, the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belt. They didn't talk about the history of it. which I would have liked for them to bring up, because the World Heavyweight Championship in the WWE actually was retired in 2013. So again, it was unified with the WWE Championship. So I just don't understand, from 2002 to 2013, you had the World Heavyweight Championship exist as a WWE belt, and you don't even talk about any of the history of that belt. You re-debut it, and it's just very unclear what it all means, you know?
Well, this is what WWE unfortunately has a history of doing, which is technically really what should be happening now. They should be doing the brand split again, and you should have a Raw champion and a SmackDown champion, and that's the way it should be until they get a champion that's not Roman Reigns, that's technically part-time, and you get someone like a Seth Rollins or a Cody Rhodes that's going to defend all the time, and that you can have them bounce back and forth between the shows. Then you only should have one belt. Yeah. And technically that should be the same way for the women's too, if it gets to that point. But yeah, right now we're going into a draft, and again, there's going to be one champion on Raw, there's going to be one champion on SmackDown. So why not just separate the belts, and you have a Raw SmackDown champion and a Raw champion and a SmackDown championship, and then that way you can pull a belt off of Roman Reigns without having him look weak, or taking a pin or strip it, like really stripping it from him, like, hey man, you're on this show, you're this champion, that's it.
Exactly. Or even, and then it doesn't make the other person look weak, or like they had a consolation prize. Roman should fight somebody, and somebody should have taken the belts off of him, one of those titles. So you have a SmackDown and Raw event, and whoever wins it gets to choose the title, or whatever the hell. You could do whatever stipulation you want.
And possibly the smart thing would have been to have announced the draft ahead of time before WrestleMania. That way you could have had Roman defend both nights, and he could have lost one to somebody and then take the other one and won that secondary match. And then that way you would have taken the road. That's exactly what they really should have done then, because if you think it, he should have fought someone the first night and won, and then fought Cody the second night and then lose one of the belts to Cody. And then that would have been that. And then you would have had Roman on SmackDown and Cody on Raw, and then your problem would have been solved.
There you go. I mean, hey, look, I agree with you in retrospect, right? Because now we're sitting here with reintroduced a World Heavyweight title. Last holder of that title too was Randy Orton. So that's what's interesting about it. Really, like I said, he held that title. He unified them with he unified the titles he unified the World Heavyweight title with the WWE Championship. So now you have the WWE Championship in the Universal. You're saying, okay, well, we're kind of taking those apart from the WWE. We're bringing that back out, and now we're putting it together, the WWE and the Universal, as one, and Roman's going to hold that belt moving forward.
Yeah, but then again, which championship is the more predominant championship at that point?
Oh, the Universal.
Which one holds the most relevancy?
The Universal. I mean, the World Heavyweight Championship doesn't. I mean, look at Randy Orton, John Cena, Alberto Del Rio, you could go back and back, but I mean, let's be realistic. What title, someone put it to you, Busted Open Radio Show, was listening. And NBA Championship. Are they going to bring the NBA champions this year a WWE Universal title or a World Heavyweight title to wear around their waist when they win?
Oh, they're gonna give the Universal one, because the Universal is the more popular style, because especially when you win a championship, you get your plates put on the sides with the team's logo. So it's definitely a more predominant belt for advertising.
Yeah, it's good. And it's a more predominant belt within the historical context as well, because now you're combining the history of the WWE Championship with that title.
Right.
So, that is going to be the top belt. Let's see what happens. I'm intrigued to see what happens. Again, I think You know what? I just think, and I don't know, because it's McMahon, McMahon, this has McMahon writing all over it. And because it's McMahon, I bet you fucking Cody wins and he just buries him. I bet you.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Listen, if Cody comes out winning this belt, I think a lot of people are going to get turned off by Cody, and I think a lot of people are going to get turned off by WWE.
I don't know. Do you think people change the channel that quickly because of that? I don't think so.
I think so. I think people are still very salty about what happened to Cody at WrestleMania. And I think that it's still sitting in the minds of people. And I think for those people that if Cody does win this, they're like, oh, well, like I said, sorry you didn't win at WrestleMania, but here's a consolation prize. Have a nice day. And then how does it become about his dad? How does that story go? The whole thing was for him to win the championship, was to finish the story, and getting a consolation prize is not finishing the story on the level that it should be finished.
I know, it's interesting. So technically though, I mean, Dusty did chase after the big gold against Flair. So in that NWA title. So if you really, and this is just me trying to just argue against what you're saying.
Right.
They could technically say, well, this is actually the belt that Cody should be going after, because if you again historically look at the lineage, it was the WCW, and prior to that was the big gold NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So technically, this is the belt Cody should be wanting to go after, because when Dusty was in the WWF, he was nowhere near Hogan in the title reign. He was polka dot Dusty Rhodes in the 90s or late 80s, early 90s. He was nowhere around that title picture. He had so I mean, technically you could say this title is the Cody Rhodes title that he should be going after. Now, look, hey, I'm not saying it makes it right. I agree with you in what you're saying. I don't think he should be anywhere near the title, because it's going to ruin his storyline. It's going to ruin, I think, his storyline. It's going to ruin his character. But look, we've seen all the throw up that has come out of the WWE for years.
No, you're right. I mean, but again, the only guy in my mind that I think that can bring some legitimacy to that title right out of the gate is Rollins.
I agree.
Because again, like you said, he's so over right now. He can't do wrong with the crowd. And the funny thing is that if they're going to give it to him, it's so funny that they're having him fight Omos at Backlash. It's like, how did that story even develop? It's just like when they threw that with Brock Lesnar and him together at Mania. There's no story arc to it. There's no build to it. It's just like, oh, we need to find a way to get Seth Rollins on the pay-per-view because he's a draw. You know what? Fuck it. Throw him in the ring with Omos and let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And he's going to put on a hell of a show regardless. But yeah, again, there's no substance there, right? Yeah. We like substance in our professional wrestling and even in our sports entertainment, and there's just no substance. And we'll see what happens. I mean, look, I think they're going to screw it up because it's the WWE. I think that Cody's going to win the belt. If he doesn't win it now, eventually he'll definitely hold this title, I think.
So there's one way to make this right, in my opinion, because they have to have a tournament, obviously, and then those two guys, like they said, are going to fight at Night of Champions. Okay. So if you really want to put the people on edge, you have Rollins versus Cody at Night of Champions, and you have finally Rollins overcoming that Cody hump and beat Cody. Now, the problem is with that, are you going to turn Seth heel? Because technically he's face right now. What are you gonna do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It just this is what I'm saying. You cannot do anything right in this situation. You just backed yourself against the wall.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Seth has never beat Cody in a match in their entire career.
He's 3-0 against them.
Even prior to that, he has not beat Cody ever in a match in the WWE ring. And that was even before Cody had left for AEW and the Independents. So even prior to that, he has never beaten Cody. That's what I thought they would do. I thought eventually, Cody would kind of have a belt or a title. He'd be wearing the title. Eventually they would get back to that in the future where they have a really, really good feud. And then finally Seth goes over eventually and gets over that hump and wins the title from him, especially if Cody wasn't kind of working out, But I agree with you. I don't know. You would think that both of them would have to be in the main event of that match. If not, who? Like, really, is it going to be Seth and Brock? No. Is it going to be Seth and Finn? You know what I'm saying?
Bobby Lashley. You're gonna throw Edge into the mix. I mean, what happens? What happens? Maybe if Randy Orton's able to come back Randy Orton's back at that point.
Well, technically he could say that he was the last one to hold that belt, and it could be actually, so here's why I think Cody wins. And yes, I think Randy is not due back soon, but again, if Cody wins that title, he's faced the dream, he's finally held one of the belts his father never held, right? Because Dusty didn't have the NWA title. I don't think, no, he never
he did.
Oh, he did have the
NWA.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he was. You're right. Sorry. So anyway, you get at least him to have a belt that his father has held, and then he can kind of work his way up, like back in the day, like the Warrior would have the Intercontinental title first, and then he would, win the championship, or any of the examples, Brett, Austin, whatever. So you can do that. He can still climb the mountain with that title. And then maybe you do title versus title at Mania next year. I mean, maybe that's the direction you go, because like I said, I just don't know who else you put in that match other than Seth and Cody. But then again, like you said, it's two baby faces against each other. I don't know.
Yeah. And again, it makes Cody versus Seth makes sense. Because again, you've already got the storyline from the past where Seth Rollins can't get over the Cody Rhodes hump, and what better way to reward Seth Rollins is to have him beat Cody Rhodes for that belt. And then what that does, not only does that help kind of legitimize Seth Rollins even more, what it does is that it helps Cody continue on that hard times storyline where he still can't continue to win the big one, and then eventually he continues and works his way to win the big one.
Look, I mean, you can go through hard times, but how many goddamn hard times are you going to go through? Look, you don't have to go over to get over. That's the old lineage in professional wrestling, right? You don't have to go over to get over. But how many times is Cody going to take a beating and keep getting over? That's the question. How long? I mean, how long?
As long as there's a McMahon in charge.
I guess. I mean, geez, this guy's he's gonna be limping into Philadelphia with his tail between his legs. I mean, he may not even be the guy you want in the main event then. I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
Attention spans in today's society. I mean, people want it quick. They want it now. Well, they don't want to wait for it. And, lose interest.
The other thing too is, especially now with the draft Friday night, tomorrow night, the draft's tomorrow night, so, and again, nobody's safe, and that's the thing, you got people that are waiting in the wings in NXT, that might get called up, and you like your maybe like your Braun Breakers or your Grayson Wallers, or who knows where those guys might be come WrestleMania next year.
No, I know. And we have to move on to the draft. The one thing I do think is, and that's a great segue, Seth. The one thing I did want to say is I get the business. So look, I mean, I know that you have USA Network, you have Fox Network. They're two different brands, two different media companies.
On there.
Everybody wants it. I get that they're stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to those things, because you have to satisfy your business interests. I think that's going to go away once now that UFC, WWE's own, once one of those deals expires, I think you're going to have an amalgamation of something on one network where maybe it's going to be something more loose, like it'll go back to NBC or something. Who knows?
Listen,
I don't think Fox is going to get the deal.
I'm dreadfully worried about that because I'm especially worried at the fact that say their deal with Peacock ends, they're going to go to ESPN because UFC already has the deal with ESPN.
Yeah.
They're going to have their own thing, and then you're going to go back to paying $80-$90 for a fucking pay-per-view, and you're not going to get your and then watch what happens. I can tell you right now, you think I'm going to pay $90 for a fucking pay-per-view?
Oh, I ain't going to pay $90 for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, let me talk to you. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. And they're gonna lose money. Their fan base is gonna start to deteriorate. And people are like, oh, this deal with them and Endeavor is so good. No, you're ruining it for the fans.
Well, my take on it is that ESPN and WWE have always had a good working relationship just in the world of media. They've always publicized them. They've always had wrestlers on. So, ESPN, ABC, and all that. I think they could possibly fold it into some of their network streaming platforms or something. So maybe it's okay, well, just subscribe to ESPN or subscribe to ABC Plus or Disney Plus. Who the hell knows, right?
That's the thing. That's the thing. You get that Disney Plus premium thing. You pay $17 a month for. You get Disney Plus, you get Hulu, and you get ESPN Plus.
Yeah, so that's probably what they would throw the W. That you would have a similar situation like Peacock, and they'd probably roll it over to them and stuff. But who knows? Maybe Peacock will just continue. I mean, they paid billions of dollars. I mean, well, I think it was in the end, it's $1 billion deal, right? So they paid $1 billion for this streaming platform for the WWE. But like you said, I mean, Endeavor, let's be realistic. I mean, they're partnered with certain people, and there'll be some changes in the future. I'm excited to see what happens. Let's get to the draft. So I just put the draft up here. Obviously, Roman's going to go to SmackDown, right?
You think?
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance he goes to Raw.
Yeah, I just don't see that.
Listen, with McMahon back in charge, I think anything's possible. There's been an emergence of so many superstars that Fox could be like, oh well, we don't need Roman Reigns anymore, but we do need a champion, and we do need someone like a Seth Rollins. We would prefer now to maybe have someone who's going to be on the show a champion that'll be on the show every week.
I think Fox is a 2-hour show, and you don't need Roman on it every week. So I think he goes to Fox, and when you need him, he's there, and he's live, and he's on cable TV Friday night, big shows, MSGs, all that jazz. And I think that's what Fox is going to end up getting. That's just my opinion, just because, again, it's the big name. It's the big brand. It's the 2 hours. Raw is 3 hours. It's like, you got to fill it with a lot more. I think your big guy stays on the smaller show.
So but I mean, obviously we're in agreement that Roman's number one. We just don't know what show.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you get down here, it really doesn't matter, right? I mean, Rhea Ripley and Bianca.
I think so. I think it matters. If for both of them, it matters completely. I can see a swap going on where they swap belts and Bianca goes to SmackDown and Rhea stays on Raw. That way Bianca can go to SmackDown and get some fresh people to fight against. And Rhea can have some good matches with whoever Raw winds up drafting.
Yeah, I agree with that, though. I do agree that, but I mean, in the grand, I think for Bianca, it would be better for her to move to a different brand right now. She's just stale on Raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with Gunther and Theory, though. I think they can either go on either show, and they're doing great on both their respective shows. But maybe you flip flop them too.
You want my hot take? You ready for this?
What is it?
Roman's the number one pick. The next pick after Roman is Gunther.
Yeah, then to Raw.
Yeah, Gunther's going to be the number two pick in the draft.
I would agree with that.
That's a hot take, because a lot of people are probably saying, nah, it's going to be Cody or Seth. I think they want to start building a program for Gunther, and what better way to do that than make him, in the top, in the top 5 pick at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And I again, heels, I look at heels, they can really be flip-flopped in between shows, right? I mean, Gunther doesn't necessarily need to stay on SmackDown. Austin Theory doesn't necessarily need to stay on Raw. You're just trading your heel champions. So I mean, again, it's not imperative that it needs to be like that.
Right.
I think Owens and Zayn may not make it past Friday, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Agree. And again, this is what I feel that they should do. And I think me and you are probably going to agree on this, where the belts should be split. You've got Raw Tag Team Champions and you've got SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And what they can do realistically is you can have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat the Usos tomorrow night. And then what you do is you split up Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then what they do from there is one guy takes a set of belts to SmackDown and the other one takes a set of belts to Raw. And then they find a new partner, and then they find new partners, which could be an opportunity to create new storylines and a new tag team for each of them.
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily would happen, but who knows, right? And I think Usos win. I think you keep the bloodline together, you get the belts back. I don't think they've been like stellar tag team champions. I don't think they're like. I think Sami Zayn is still super over.
Well, they peaked at Mania when they won. That was it. The whole story peaked at Mania. Everything after that now has just kind of been meh.
Yeah, well, that's why that was the fear of putting the belt on Sammy, right? Like if Sammy were have to beat Roman, like it's always the chase that excites the people, right? Now it's what you do after the chase that matters most. And they haven't really done much after the chase. I mean, it's kind of the same old. You got them against the Usos. So yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, look, I am a fan for unification of titles. I don't actually like all these titles. I want one tag team. I want world champion. I want one women's champion.
Right.
And
they should be able to bounce around. Yeah. And they should be able to bounce around between shows. Absolutely. Totally 100% in agreement with you. But unfortunately,
not going to happen.
That's not the world we live in right now.
No, not going to happen, unfortunately.
Unless they do that shit at Night of Champions, and they unify, they do something where they unify the heavyweight championship belt, they unify the Intercontinental and the US belt, and they unify the women's championship, and they unify the men's tag team belts, because the women's tag team belts, they don't have show belts. They bounce around from show to show already.
Exactly. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but I wish it was going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right. So NXT is very interesting. And I don't even want to look at the champions, because I don't think, obviously none of these people are going anywhere. I want to look at like NXT superstars, because I think there's a lot of great talent here. And I see personally, like if I'm looking down this list, I think Braun Breaker stays in NXT right now.
Well, yeah, because he's got that feud right now going on with Carmelo.
He's got the feud going on. I think he's actually doing very well as a heel. I think he's just going to get more comfortable in his character. So I see him staying. Cora Jade. They've said Cameron
Grimes has been ready to go up for quite some time.
Yeah.
So because they said he's been working main event.
Okay. So maybe he gets a call up, but again, I mean, I'm not like, okay, well, whatever. Yeah. To the moon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. So, they just buried him for how many weeks or months. So you go okay. Here's Elton Prince and
they talked about pretty deadly.
They got buried. They're going up. They are going to be a great tag team. I think you need to send Pretty Deadly up. They can compete even with Sammy. They can compete with Sammy and Kevin and KO if you want to move the Usos away. I think you put a manager on them. Them with a centerpiece, the way they do their, do all their promos.
So if they're doing, who's the chick that's with the Maximum Male Models?
Oh,
that's,
yeah,
I think that's who you put with Pretty Deadly.
Perfect. And I think that works perfect to a T. I didn't even think about that, but yes, you could throw even them in Maximum Male Models, make them the headpiece of it all.
True.
And put her right on the side. I agree. That's great. Gigi, I think staying. Grayson Waller is the man. This guy,
he's ready. Yeah, he's ready for
dude,
it. He's ready.
Did you see that match with Carmelo Hayes this week?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Even his match with Gargano, at the Takeover was awesome. This guy's the real deal. I mean, he's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. This
guy is the next heavyweight champion of the world. I believe you. I mean, believe me, this guy I am so high on. People just don't get it. He's got a great look to him. He's got everything. Grayson Waller, and I've been preaching this, and even in my 2K23, I've been putting him with the Miz for 2 months now, and I think he should go with the Miz.
That would be good. You have the Miz, have the Miz get drafted to SmackDown, and then. Because Miz, listen, they were talking about this the other day. And, the thing is that Miz is so lost on Raw.
Yes.
And he had such a great run on SmackDown that they should move him back to SmackDown. And then, have him work with Grayson Waller. Absolutely.
Yep. They could do tag team work together. I mean, it even fits in the Gargano feud that Miz was having, Gargano and the Miz were feuding, and Ciampa and the Miz, and maybe throw Grayson Waller in. I mean, they could do so much there. Dexter as well.
Yeah.
So that I love that. Excuse me.
They were talking about calling up possibly Julius Creed.
Yeah, Julius. I mean, do you split them up as a tag team though? His brother Brutus and him?
I mean, listen, in reality, I think the Street Profits are going to get broken up.
Yes. Moving back to tag teams, I think they are. Yeah, they're going to go different. They're going to try it out.
Yeah. I think I think whatever show Bianca goes to, that's where Montez is going.
Yep, I agree with you. And hey, look, give Montez his chance, right? You want to give him his chance. Just scrolling down the NXT roster still.
They were also talking about what is it? Who's that guy in Dragunov?
Ilya Dragunov, possibly.
Yeah, they were talking about him. They were talking about maybe Tyler Bates going.
Yes, I heard Tyler Bates been on a lot of main events too.
Yeah.
Big one here, Roxanne Perez.
I don't think she's ready. I don't think she's ready yet.
I don't either. She had a terrible match.
She's great. She's great in the ring. I think she still needs work with the mic.
Oof, she's small in the ring too. Very, very, very small in the ring. I just don't like her because of her stature. She's like smaller than Bliss. And she reminds me a lot of Bliss, which I think she could get over. But her mic skills and stuff just awful right now.
Yeah. I think if any of the women that might go up, I think if anything, Zoe Stark is going to be one of the women that go up from NXT.
I agree. I think it's time for her. She does great in the ring. I don't think she's going to get over on the main roster. She's got to be a heel. But I think it's time for her to move up. So that's it. I think that's our picks for NXT, right? I mean, I don't know if there would be anyone else.
Yeah, I don't really see. I mean, like I said, like Braun would have been a sure bet if he didn't go in to go into that round, that storyline now with Carmelo. Obviously he would have been a clear-cut choice. Maybe they bring him up after the draft is over, because as well as I do, not everyone's going to get drafted, and then after the draft is over, the people that aren't going to get drafted, they're going to figure out where they're going to end up. And he could after he's done with Carmelo, he could be one of those guys that winds up somewhere. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think you're right. I think that's a distinct possibility. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, when it's all said and done, I do think Von Wagner has a chance to go up too.
Oh,
But
don't even. I fucking can't stand that guy.
well, I mean, he's just he's prototype WWE. That's
Horrible. He's a horrible wrestler. Horrible mic skills.
I know, but he's prototype look for
Yeah,
WWE.
he's got the build. Yeah, he's the build. Yeah,
yeah. Look at him.
he's
I mean,
the big tall strong guy that
big tall
Vince likes.
beefy monster that Vince loves. Just put him up
Dude,
there.
look at him. He looks like a caveman from the Geico commercials.
He does. He does.
He's got that huge fucking mongoloid, forehead.
He is a mongoloid forehead, without a doubt, bro. He is a caveman. He is from he should be with the Viking Raiders. Maybe him and Valhalla, they'll get, it'll be Valhalla, the Viking Raiders, and Von Wagner. So yeah, that's fun. So, and then, when you get to, like I said, a Raw, I mean, I don't want to go over everyone. I just want to kind of look into like just people on Raw you think need a refresh, right? People that are right now on Raw that maybe
Baron Corbin is definitely in need of a refresh.
I mean, I don't think he can come back from anything at this point. I think he's just done.
Bailey's in a definite need of a refresh.
Yeah, so I think she should move to SmackDown. That'd probably be good for her.
I think Bronson Reed is good on Raw. Chad Gable, they need to separate Chad Gable and Otis and let Chad Gable get that run that he deserves.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's how I feel about that. Cody's probably going to go to whatever show Roman's going to be on.
Okay. I don't think so, but I don't think so. I think
so. They're gonna continue having him chase Roman. I'm telling you.
I don't know. I think they separate him and then they do this. You know how they do like a mid-season trade or something? They've done it in the WWE.
And he winds up mid trade because they want to get ready for WrestleMania. They want to build the story for Mania.
Exactly. I think because I think you keep them on separate products. You get them do whatever the hell they're doing for now. You keep them away. You build him up, like you said, as the Sum of the Plumber, Hard Times, Rocky, whatever you want to call it, down and out. And then you do the mid-season trade or whatever. Somebody goes down, whatever it is, and then he goes to the other brand that Roman's on.
Damien, I think the Judgment Day stays together.
Yeah, Judgment Day has to stay together, even if they move brands. Do you flip-flop Judgment Day and Bloodline? I mean, or do you keep them on the same show? Or
Nah, I think you separate them, because again, you don't want to overfill. You don't want to fill a show with too many factions.
Yeah. I think Riddle goes to SmackDown. I don't like him on Raw at all.
Yeah, I think Mustafa Ali is going to wind up on SmackDown.
Yeah, his contract's up too.
He can use a refresh. I think Boogs. I think there's a good chance of Boogs going back to SmackDown to reunite with Shinsuke.
Yeah, I think you put them together probably again. Seth Rollins will probably stay on Raw.
Yeah, the Miz will go to SmackDown probably.
Yeah, so those are your Raw superstars. And then we quickly look at SmackDown.
I think they're gonna separate the New Day finally, and I think Big E's gonna wind up going on Raw.
Well, he's been injured for such a long time.
Well, I think he's ready. I think he's ready to come back.
Yeah. Okay.
Bray, no one's even seen where the fuck Bray is. Bray is just gone.
Mental health issues, from what I hear, but creative differences, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna go on with Braun. I think they're gonna keep the what is it, the Brawling Brutes together.
Yeah, I like the Brawling Brutes. They're a good secondary faction for SmackDown.
I can see Charlotte. I could see Charlotte going to Raw.
Well, you would have to think if they do the flip and let's say Rhea. Well, let's say
Rhea and Bianca.
No. Bianca could go to SmackDown. Rhea stays on Raw, like you said, flip the belts or whatever, and then have Charlotte,
go after Bianca. Yeah,
maybe go after Bianca or just follow Rhea too. Who knows? I don't know. Because
Drew McIntyre is going to go on Raw.
He's going to go to AEW Dynamite.
Well, after his contract's up, I think Gunther's going to go to Raw. I think Imperium's going to go to Raw.
Okay.
I think the Viking Raiders stay put. The Usos stay put.
Yep.
Karrion Kross might go to Raw.
He needs something. He definitely needs a refresh.
If not Karrion Kross, LA Knight needs to go to Raw. LA Knight, dude, that dude needs such a push right now. I mean, he is one of the best wrestlers. He's awesome on the mic, and I think he's due for a push.
Well, here, you know what? It's so funny. We were talking about World Heavyweight Champion, Night of Champions. Could he potentially be could you keep Cody out of the picture and then maybe he faces Seth? How about that?
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Why not? Right. I think that they would be both great on the mic together. I think they would be both great in the ring together. And I think that would be a great match. So you got Seth.
Give him his just dues. And then again, you also have people that are hurt too. AJ's still out. We're still waiting on Randy Orton to come back.
Liv Morgan will flip flop. I heard Naomi is on Impact Wrestling now, so I'm surprised she hasn't been.
I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, I heard that she's, I think, headed to Impact.
Okay. Yeah. I think Rey Mysterio stays put.
Yeah, I think. Well, Rey will follow. Maybe not. Maybe he won't follow Dom now. I don't know what's going to happen with the LWO and all that jazz.
There's a chance. Maybe Ronda. There's maybe a chance Ronda goes to Raw.
Yeah, I mean, Ronda and Shayna needs a big time refresh.
Listen, Ronda and Shayna should have won the titles at WrestleMania. That should have been the match at WrestleMania.
I agree.
For the women's tag titles.
Yeah, I agree. Sheamus will stay.
Yeah, Shinsuke might stay, or Shinsuke might go to Raw. He might get a refresh. I think Solo's going to stay wherever the Bloodline.
Shotzi needs a refresh.
Yeah, Shotzi, Sonya can stay. I think top what is it? The Hit Row might make a move.
Could go to Raw.
I think the LWO, the Latino World Order, all stays together.
Yeah, you got that faction has to stay together. I think that's fun and everything. So yeah, I think that's our draft predictions, guys. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens. I am and I am not in certain respects. It's so funny when it talks about I'm not like a big draft guy because again, I don't like splits, right? I don't like the fact that you have split championships. I don't want everything split. I think if you're wrestling, you should be able to wrestle on any show you want to wrestle on or whatever they want to book you on and have interweaving storylines and stuff. I'm just a traditionalist in that respect.
No, I agree.
Yeah, but it'll be fun to see what happens in all this. So let's move on to AEW, guys. AEW Dynamite last night. Man, it was a pretty stacked show. Seth, you were there. Show. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah. What a great show it was. Obviously, before Dynamite went live, they had Ring of Honor. They had like 3 Ring of Honor matches go on. We got to see Samoa Joe. Who did Samoa Joe fight? Oh, Samoa Joe fought Christopher Daniels for the Ring of Honor TV belt.
Warning, spoilers. Well,
I'm not going to say who won. I'm just giving the match.
Giving the matches. All right, giving the matches.
Yeah, and then what is it? We got to see Claudio fight. I don't even know who the guy's name is. So that's how relevant this guy is. So we got to see that match, the Samoa Joe match, and then we got to see Lee Moriarty against Rocky Romero.
Okay.
So that was all the matches were really good. And then obviously it rolled over to Dynamite. The first match we got out of that gate was Orange Cassidy versus Bandito, which was a solid match. Orange Cassidy, I feel, is so underrated. The gimmick, the gimmick and his wrestling ability is great. I think he deserves more than that Mid-Atlantic or All Atlantic, championship. I think the dude should get a legitimate, title push at some point.
Yeah, I disagree with that, and I've seen him many times. I think he's great in the ring, no doubt. I think his placement of the gimmicky stuff needs to kind of like, again, it's just out of whack. Like in the middle of the match, I don't want to see him, especially when he's facing a guy like Bandito that's so much of a better wrestler than he is.
Yeah.
And that can elevate him. I don't want to see him like doing fake kicks and stuff. That's just my thing. I have a real love-hate relationship with Orange Cassidy because again, no, it's true. I respect him in the ring. His in-ring work is, like you said, it's good. He goes out there, he busts his balls, right? But then he does indie-rific shit that I just can't stand.
Here's another hot take for you. I feel that he's the Seth Rollins of AEW.
Oh my God, stop it. All right.
Then after that,
he's gonna put the camera. He's gonna put the GoPro on the head and go take some videos.
So after that, we got Dax. We got Dax Harwood against Jeff Jarrett. Which God, man, the fact that Jeff Jarrett is still wrestling at his age, and the fact that he still looks in good shape. I mean, and he can still go. Obviously they're building this whole FTR against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, storyline leading to probably a tag team championship match at some point. And they're going to make what is it? The Briscoe get involved at some point. Cause there's like a tug of war for the love of his affection right now going on. So, that whole thing's going on. Which that was a good match. We wound up getting the Darby Allin and the Sammy Guevara match, which was freaking awesome. That was such a great match. I mean, I could totally see either one of those guys being the AEW, heavyweight champion at some point, especially Sammy, man. Sammy's in ring is really, really, really good. And Darby's, what's great is that I feel that they finally removed Sting as the mouthpiece for Darby. And now we're getting to see Darby work on the mic and show off his mic skills. And he's getting better with it every week. So I was excited about that. The big takeaway from that was my son had his face painted like Darby Allin. So after the match was over, we were right by the ramp and Darby came by and was shaking hands with everybody. And he fist bumped my son, shook his hand, and then came back like 2 minutes later and gave my son his skateboard, which that just made my son's year because Darby Allin's his favorite wrestler. And the fact that, and it's funny because the best way, because, me and you were around the same age. So the best way to justify that in our time is like when we would sit ringside and we would only be so fortunate enough for Bret Hart to come by and give us his sunglasses. That's how I look at that. But yeah, that's a night that kid will never forget because of that. But the match was good. Obviously, we're getting a fatal 4-way 4 pillars match at the next pay-per-view. I mean, it's gonna be that. I mean, even with the stupid tournament they concocted, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, the match that they're gonna have, the tag team match is next. I guess it's next week or something.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. So it's it's a situation where like, and that's what I like. Okay, so let me just rewind real quick. I absolutely love AEW for what you just said, right? It's the fan experience and the fan interaction, right, and allowing the fans to be a part of the show, not just being at the show, but being a part of the show, which is so important in professional wrestling. And it's also so important for when you want people for brand retention, right? Long-term brand retention. You want people to fall in love with your product. And when you have a little kid like your son that sees that and gets that kind of attention, they're going to remember it, like you said, for the rest of their lives, and they're going to be loyal to that brand, Exactly. So I think AEW does that better than anybody on the planet.
And it's funny because the takeaway from that is like, look at what Cody does. Cody gives his weight belt away. And again, that's how you retain your audience. That's why Cody is one of their most popular guys. You don't see anybody else in WWE giving away any of that stuff. I mean, obviously, the New Day used to come out and throw pancakes into the crowd and, dump boxes of Bootios on people. But yeah, you don't really see that anymore in WWE.
No, and I think look, it happens. You see like Brock take photos with people and Seth,
Yeah.
like on the interwebs, like. But yes, it's less and less because of the giant that WWE has become. And I think with AEW, you just have it's a little bit more personable, the fan experience. I mean, even the guys like, so, I'm the big guy, crazy hat with the cowboy hat in the front row all the time. And I go crazy. And all the guys know me now, like like Lucha Brothers, all these guys, they all know me. You have Evil Uno comes on all the time, puts the hat on his head when I'm ringside. He takes my cowboy hat on. It's a thing he does, and he just goes around and hangs out with the hat.
You're interacting. Yeah.
You're interacting. Exactly. They get to know who you are. And I think that's super, super important. That's what I love. Real quick though, again, that Orange Cassidy and I just don't feel, I don't know. I'm not a big Orange Cassidy guy. Really, one other thing is, and that's Seth Rollins' comment. Oh my God, I just fainted almost. Average 863,000 viewers this week. So they're still way down, man. I don't have the ratings breakdown right now as far as like hour by hour or 50 quarter breakdowns and stuff.
Right.
But I want to see, like, they keep pumping Orange Cassidy down our throats at the start of a show. And I really want to see, like, usually it's tough to gauge, like, if he's engaging in an audience because they come in from Big Bang Theory, which has over 1 million plus watchers. And then they kind of like trickle down sometimes. Sure. So, but I don't like Orange Cassidy starting that show. I think he needs to lose the title.
They need to take a page. I feel like they need to take a page out of WWE's book for when they start the show.
Slow it down.
Start it with a promo. Don't go right into. You don't have to go right into a match. Start with a promo and have that promo lead into whatever the main event is going to be for that night. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Or a match. You can have balance, right? It doesn't have to be always a promo into a match or a promo into a main event or a match. It could be just balance. And I think they've been doing a little better with that recently because they have had some opening promos. Like, I think last week they had the MJF stuff, but that's just stuff just fell flat, and again, this 4 pillars thing, they did a great initial promo. They came back, I think, with MJF doing some other stuff, which was funny. But last week was just, personally, I thought it fell flat. But yes, so they picked up the show as it went along. The Sammy Guevara match, the Darby Allin match was great. And I do want to say one thing. I agree with you with Sammy Guevara. Like, he has just been getting better and better in the ring every single month. I mean, it's amazing.
And again, seeing it on TV and seeing it in person is obviously 2 totally different things.
Yep.
And watching him on TV, see, like, this is how I feel about it. I'm not a big fan of watching AEW on TV. I think, like what you said, it's more of a personal experience. I love going to their shows because I know I'm in for a treat. And I've been to maybe 3 AEW shows because they don't, again, they don't come to Florida that much. So when they, do, it's, I'll try to go wherever it is, as long as it's within reason. But everyone I've been to, I've walked out of there having a fantastic time.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then I mean, again, the rest continuing on, the rest of the show was great. We had a major, at least I feel that it's major. We had a major debut last night in Roderick Strong, and me, like most of other people, were shocked because we never heard anything. We didn't even know that his contract was up with WWE. So him showing up to help Adam Cole was freaking fantastic. I almost thought at one point that, maybe Kyle O'Reilly was ready to come back and he would have showed up, but I'll take Roderick Strong, and hopefully Kyle O'Reilly does show up at one point. And then maybe even like we were talking before we went live, you get Bobby Fish to come back, and then you have the Undisputed Elite against the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Well, I think, I would love that, but I think they're leaning towards Cassidy and Bandito for some reason. I don't know why they were out there last night, but look, this is why I'm thinking, like, do you wait? Like, how do you really can you weigh, like, maybe Kyle coming back Can you weigh like getting Bobby Fish off of his Impact deal? Possibly. I just don't. Can you work a deal with Impact because you have that working relationship with them,
Right,
where maybe you
right.
can bring Bobby in for the fold for a little bit? I don't know. I know Bobby was very unhappy working in AEW, probably because of the booking. But yeah, they just blew it the first time around. Let's hope that they can get something back together,
Right.
bring Kyle into the fold sooner than later. Because I don't want to see Adam Cole, Adam Cole, Roddy, and Orange Cassidy and Bandito together. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, you want to see Undisputed Era. You don't want to see
Exactly.
Undisputed Orange Cassidy.
It does again.
Undisputed. There you go. Undisputed Orange. That's what they'll.
This is what you'll see me in the front row doing this at every AEW event, boys. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Roddy, I love him. He's a great wrestler. He's been around since 2000. I mean, he's been a Ring of Honor. I mean, I think he's been the Ring of Honor.
He was a Ring of Honor champion.
At one time. Yeah. So, I mean, he's definitely had a championship reign there. So maybe he could do some work with the kids. He's not a young guy. He's our age, man. He's 39 years old, So the guy's been around a long time. I mean, he's been wrestling forever. He looks great. I mean, God, he looks better than I do.
Oh yeah, he looked great. He looked great. And again, he's also married to Maria Shavar or whatever.
So, yeah, Shafir,
so it makes sense that he would show up in AEW. But like I said, I didn't know that his deal was up with WWE. I just didn't think NXT had anything for him creatively. So that's why he's been off of TV for quite some time.
Well, I mean, I guess they didn't. I mean, God, the last thing they put him in was that Diamond Mine or something.
Yeah, he was with the Diamond Mine with the Creed brothers and Stokely Hathaway.
Oh my God, god awful. Yeah. So I mean, all right, let's see how he works out. Look, I mean, how many people are going to become all elite, Seth? Though, I mean, Jesus Christ, you've just brought in 3 people in like a month.
It's you know what it is. The best way to describe it, it's FOMO. That's really what it boils down to for AEW. It's fear of missing out on the opportunity of bringing people in that might be beneficial to your company. Now, obviously, they've got so much stuff going on where they've got Dark, they've got Elevation, they've got the Ring of Honor shows, they've got Rampage, they've got Dynamite, and now there's the talk of this third show that they're gonna start airing on Saturdays. So it's like they're gonna need people to fill this stuff. So, and again, they're not, and I don't think it's a problem for them because again, they're not too storyline oriented yet. Oof. So, you
said it right there. I'm cringing at it because they aren't, and they need to become more. I mean, look, their story. It's funny because they are and they aren't, right? They've had like great storylines with Jericho.
Their main stuff that the the
Four Pillars.
Like there's some stuff that they've got storylines going on. But the thing is that it's not long term, it's short term.
Yes.
And it seems to be that they have more short term than long term, and they really need to focus on the long term.
I agree. And but again, I agree with you. Collision's going to be coming out, I guess. I'm assuming they're going to debut in the fall. That's when all the new shows come out on TV, right?
They're not debuting in the fall. It's coming within the next couple. It's coming. What is it? It's debuting the next time they're in Chicago because that's when Punk's coming back.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna. Okay, so I didn't even know. I knew Punk was coming back in Chicago, but I thought Collision would be a.
Well, so what I've read is the whole thing for this Collision show is to have CM Punk back, and it's gonna, and the only people that are gonna be on that show are people that are gonna obviously want to work with
Punk,
with Punk, because they're gonna keep the elite separate, and I guess anyone else who has beef with Punk, like Punk and Jericho had a sit down meeting and they worked out whatever their issue is. So maybe there'll be a thing where Punk and Jericho can have a can fight. Have a storyline, and who knows, me personally, I think they just need to stop acting like fucking children and get over their fucking shit, because to me, if you really want to fill that arena in Wembley, you have CM Punk and FTR fight the Elite for the trios championship. The shit writes it fucking self.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't even have to be for a trios championship.
But the shit writes it. But the shit writes itself, though.
I agree. Hey, I agree. It should be that match. And like you said, you're grown fucking men. Get over yourselves. Jesus Christ. I mean, you know how many times this has happened in professional wrestling and people go out there and they have to work together. In real life, they have to work together. Come on.
Look at what happened with fucking Matt Hardy and Edge and Lita.
Oh, I know.
But they worked, they put their shit aside and they fucking worked together and they had some of the best matches.
Exactly. And great story. Because they were invested in a person.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're invested in something, you have better story because it's real. We want realism.
Exactly.
You want realism in wrestling, guys, in professional wrestling. And this is, well, look, I don't think it's more Kenny. I think it's the Bucks, and I'm not a Bucks guy. And I think Kenny will do business. It doesn't matter. He doesn't give a shit. I think the Bucks are a little bit of bitches in that respect. But I digress. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Comment below, whatever. I'd like to hear your take on it. We want to hear your take on all of this too. So if you're watching this after our live stream, please just write in the comments section below, and let us know your take on everything we're talking about this evening. But getting back into that, I think you have a CM Punk return, which will be great. But like you said, if you want to fill, what is it, 80,000 people, 90,000 people in Wembley Stadium?
I think it's 90.
So I don't think they're going to get to there. I think they'll get to probably 50 to 60. But you have that kind of a caliber of a match. You have maybe Sasha Banks turn up. You maybe have a Drew McIntyre turn up.
You've got to listen. They've got to have mega matches to fill that arena. Yeah. And the other side of the coin is you have to have some form of long-term storytelling to go into that, to build it up. Otherwise, if you're just going to throw matches together with no storylines, it's not going to do you any good.
Nope. If you do a Forbidden Door at Wembley Stadium, you're just going to, people are just going to go for the big match and then big matches. And then, like you said, there's got to be no retention. You got to have good long-term storytelling. I think Punk is the way to go there. I think a program with Mercedes Moné, if you introduce her at Forbidden Door and have her go in with Jade for that TBS title at Wembley, I think that's a stellar freaking match. Yeah,
and have her be the first loss.
First loss.
Again, you've got to have a big name be Jade's first loss. I mean, there's no question about that.
Yeah, it's not. I love Taya Valkyrie, and I know she works well. She's a veteran in that ring,
and that was a great match. That was a great match last night.
Hard-hitting match, great match, had no problem, which is why I'm tying that in a little bit here. But that's the kind of caliber of stuff you want to have at Wembley. Big time matches with meaningful storylines, because you could even bring a Snoop Dogg in. You could even bring, I think Jade was working with another rapper about 6 months ago.
No, she was with Shaquille. What is it? Shaquille O'Neal they had that tag team match with what was it? It was her and Shaquille O'Neal against Cody and I forgot who it was. But they had that tag,
something
that tag
like
match.
that. But she was also working with some rapper too. I think that was like with Snoop Dogg. So I think though, Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her, Mercedes Moné, Jade Cargill, Wembley. I think that's perfect. And then again, if you get Drew, I don't think they're going to right now. That from what I've been hearing, but anything's a possibility. I mean, what do? Do you put him against MJF? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, you throw him into a title match instantly, because no matter what title it is, he'll bring instant credibility to that title.
Oh my God, dude! If he literally beat the shit out of MJF in the UK, I mean, they would go crazy over there.
Right. Exactly. And that's again, the writing's on the wall. It writes itself. It's just, again, it depends how far Tony wants to open that wallet.
Yeah. What did you think? So what was the response for Wardlow? I mean, they've shitted on him.
I don't think so. I think he got a really good response. People were cheering for him when it came out. I mean, obviously, it was a squash match against a local, like I always call it, local competitor. So it was just a squash match against a local guy, and then obviously we're building towards Wardlow fighting Luchasaurus, which could definitely be a hell of a match between them two.
I think so. I think
two big guys going at it like that.
You have Arn Anderson in the fold. You have Christian Cage in the fold. I think you're going to do everything is going to work out in a match like that. The only problem is, though, you did have a Powerhouse Probs promo. So they're going to, is there going to be a 3-way thing again?
Maybe.
And again, I'm not talking about the crowd shitting on Wardlow. AEW has shit on Wardlow. I mean, they have pushed him and stopped him and pushed him and stopped him and pushed him and stopped him back and forth. And I just don't like when they're doing that to the guy, because you're just taking away his steam. It's like, boom, we get him there and then stop. And then boom, we get him there and then stop. It's just stupid.
And he's a great talent. He's a great talent. And again, he's another one of those guys like Darby Allin. The camera went off. The camera went off, and he was walking down the side of the ramp where I was, and he stopped and he took pictures with everybody and shook hands. And, he just super nice guy.
Yep. I met him at a meet and greet. He took a long time with us just to hang out, talk.
Just to talk.
And he's a great guy. He's actually up in Pandora's Box too. Really nice guy. Eric and DJ, two guys own a toy shop up here in North Jersey. He was there, and again, amazing experience, they said, with him. So I think overall, your take on Dynamite, you got to go, right? I mean, that's it. You got to. I mean, I always have been preaching this. I'm an AEW mark.
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, the only way to watch AEW, I feel, is going to a live event. TV doesn't do it any justice. You gotta be there live to take in the ambiance and really feel the crowd, because the crowd does get into it. And it was great. It was great. And then so we were also fortunate. I was also finally fortunate enough to see Kenny Omega in person wrestle, because I've never had that opportunity, because when I went last time, Kenny was hurt. And to watch him wrestle is something else. And and then again, that whole storyline with the the Blackpool Combat Club that they got going on now, when Bryan Danielson came out, and he was walking down the ramp talking on the mic, I don't know if you heard me, but I was screaming. I kept going, fickle, fickle. Like I kept yelling that at him, because he took that and basically turned it into yelling amateur. So it's like I'm just yelling fickle at this dude. But yeah, that storyline is I like where it's going. It just depends on how they end it. But getting to see Kenny wrestle was really cool. And and then having the Bucks run out and super kick everybody as they were running up the ramp, which was great. Poor Takeshita, took the screwdriver to the head. To the head. But
he did a little blade job. He did a little blade job. He did a good job too. I didn't see a blade go to anybody this time around. So the camera guys, you did a good job. You didn't catch. I didn't see him cut himself. I didn't see a blade get thrown out there. So it was a good work by production. I thought they did a great job there.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. They had a good time. Dude, Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen in my entire life, bro.
Yeah, because he was hurt. Yeah, because when they were down here, he was hurt. He was hurt last time, so we didn't get a chance to see him. So getting to see him wrestle was just freaking awesome. And then he left. When he came out, he had the IWJP belt with him, and he left it ringside. He left it ringside. So one of the handlers was walking back up the ramp with it. And dude, that belt looks freaking awesome in person.
Dude,
that thing was pretty sweet to see that in person.
That's a belt. IWGP US title is a beautiful, beautiful belt. And I was gonna ask you at the end who came around ringside and stuff and hung out with the fans.
So so FTR hung around.
Took some photos and stuff afterwards.
Yeah, FTR was taking photos. And then obviously after Dynamite we went right into Rampage. So the cool takeaway from Rampage was my older son loves the Acclaimed. So after their match was over, Max Caster was coming up our side, and Max Caster scissored my son, and they were screaming at each other while they were. I got it on video. You'll see it on my vlog. But it was my son had the foam scissor hands. So he went up to him. It was great. It was great. It was again, these guys interacting with the crowd was awesome. So yeah, the Acclaimed went around with people. FTR went around with people. Who else? But I think that was it as far as like people who actually like walked all around.
Yeah, the ring.
Everyone,
stuff,
but for the most part, everybody else just went on either side of the ramp or up the ramp and just kept walking.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, it sounds like you had a great time. Dynamite's always fun to go out to, so check it out if it's ever in your area, guys. I think it's one of the most fun things. Seth will be doing a blog on his YouTube channel as well, so check it out.
I've got 100 and something clips to freaking go through, and I got this guy over here freaking messaging me on Instagram during the thing. He's like, "Hey, idiot!" He goes, "Put your phone down."
Yeah, he's getting valuable camera time, guys. I'm on camera. I see the red light. I know where to go. I know where placement is, and this guy's got the phone right in front of his face.
I'm filming.
Yeah, right. Come on. Daniel Bryan's walking down. You can't even see Daniel Bryan. He's looking through his phone on Daniel Bryan. Get the phone out of there.
So what is it? So you and like a bunch of other people were messaging me that they were seeing me on TV. Yep. So I guess it was right after the Darby match. Jungle Boy was walking back. And Jungle Boy was walking back, and they had the little graphic in the corner. They're like, "Oh, we'll hear next from Adam Cole," and you could see me and my younger son like smack right there, and somebody took a screenshot of that and sent that to me. They're like, "You're on TV."
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. That's awesome. It's fun. I love being on TV. It's just
you get the front row seats. You're fucking point blank in front of everything. And again, you can't be missed because you're wearing a bright ass shirt and a fucking cowboy hat. And then again, for some reason, you like to sit in the front and just stick your middle fingers up for no reason.
Oh, yeah, fuck Jay White. I don't want to see that guy. Screw Jay White. But anyway, and a Florida native, everybody. The tie-dye guy is alive and made his return.
Yeah,
if you don't know about Seth, the Seth tie-dye guy and I actually sat together at the first ever Elimination Chamber at MSG, and I think that was 2002 during the Royal Rumble. I have known the tie-dye guy for ages as far as going to events. We used to back in the day when you used to go to Raw or SmackDown at MSG or any local New Jersey events, anywhere, you could get tickets. So they would fill like chairs around the entrance stage and the Titantron and stuff. And we would get like front row on the aisle next to the entrance because the stages and the aisles were smaller than they are today,
Yeah.
So we would just get front row all the time, and tie-dye guy would be there. We'd get there to the arena early. We'd all hang out. We'd all talk wrestling. So I was very happy to see the tie-dye guy posing, giving a little tricep.
Oh no, they had the tie guy
going.
They were chanting his name at one point. They were going tie guy. Oh yeah, they were going hard for him at one moment.
I love the tie-dye guy. Again, just a personal hardcore wrestling. He's a wrestling dude. He's at every show wrestling. What do you call him? What are they called? I don't know, like all these guys. But anyway,
hey, you lost sound.
Oh, am I there?
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. What happened here? Hello? Uh-oh. Do I have technical difficulties?
We're having technical difficulties, folks. Just stand by.
This is not good. It could be out of shit. This is here. Oh no. Uh-oh. USB is in. What's going on? Why isn't it locked up? Hello? Shit. Hello? Hello? Locked. Hello? 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 Oh, shoot.
You there? Yeah, I don't know. I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
Hello?
Let's see.
Am I there?
Now I can hear you. I don't know what's going on.
Yep, there we go. Am I good?
Yeah.
Am I good?
Yeah, I can't hear you through my headset though. I don't know what's going on.
Huh, interesting. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on either. Okay.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
was weird. Like
Well,
you just cut out. It's like out of nowhere you just cut out.
that's so odd. I don't know. I think I had it on mute. Maybe that would be the issue. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Well, look, we can end it there. I just wanted to bring something up real quick, if everybody can still hear me. Seth, hot take.
Yeah.
Is this going to happen?
Well, we got 8 days. We got 8 days left. My hot take on this one. With 3 days left, it gets backed.
Okay. Okay.
I think with three days left, it gets backed. It hits 5,000, and that's about the extent of it.
All right. I mean, if you say so, I think look, I'm going to go with that. Again, I do not know. I do not know. I think this may not get backed. We're still at 42%. I mean, they put the Steiner in. We were talking about this. Were they going to put the Steiner in? What were they going to do? Are they going to raise the pieces? We don't get the 7,000 though, right?
No, you're not gonna. You're gonna get the 5. And I think it's barely. And I think it's barely going to make it to 5.
So again, FOMO, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. I have nothing to say about it other than we've discussed this on our previous live stream. We thought that they should have added a few things. We thought that they should have kind of promoted this a little differently. We thought that there were too many wrestling figures in it. Maybe if there was like a way to convert our existing rings, this would have been a little bit of a project. I actually talked to some people at a toy show I was vending at. That was last Saturday, Collector Con here in New Jersey at the Raritan Center Exposition Center. And a lot of the people that came up to me said this: they should have had a convertible ring. They wanted a convertible ring option, ring posts, ring ropes, because how many rings can we possibly all buy?
Right. And again, who's going to want to spend $140 on a ring with a figure?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And again, you're saying we may not get this version of Steiner. I think we do. I think we get a version of most of this in the future, maybe albeit a little bit different.
I feel that if this doesn't get backed, we will definitely get that DDP and Scott Steiner at some point, but I don't think you're going to see that I don't think you're going to see that Warrior or Hogan or Ray.
I agree. I think we get DDP. I think we get Steiner. Ray is like, maybe Ray, maybe Ray. Hogan, I don't think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Hogan and Warrior, no. I mean, I don't think there's just enough interest for Hogan and Warrior, but maybe Ray.
There's so many of them.
I know. It's so funny too. I think at this point, I'm not going to buy it, even if it's getting close to being back, because I'll just buy the figures from it.
Well, I'm vested in it. I backed it the day it came out. So.
Yeah, I backed it the day it came out too, and then I canceled it.
You pulled out. It's okay. You were aborted.
I had to. I couldn't give them the capital injection they needed. But we'll see.
I mean, but the funny thing is that if this doesn't get backed, do they move forward? Do they move forward with the Nitro ring and Bischoff?
Yeah, I think Walmart signed up for the Monday Night Wars line, so I think you're going to still get the Monday Night Ring. I mean, you don't need the entrance. This is the first time we've really had an entrance stage for anything, right? Other than the small little, at
No, I mean, we've had the stuff in the past with the Jax and the Titantron and stuff like that. I mean, granted, technology is far superseded than where it was back then, and now you're getting stuff to actual scale.
Yeah, that's true. And this is not a toy either, right? You're not buying this for $400 as a toy. You're using it as a display piece. I mean, let me ask you this question: could we eventually get this in pieces in some way?
No, I think it's all or nothing with them on this.
Okay.
And the sad part about this, from what I've heard, is that there are some items in this that they're using that they want to reuse to make the Raw Titantron. And if this doesn't get backed, then they can't make the Raw Titantron.
Why didn't you just make the Raw Titantron?
Yeah, why didn't you just put that out first? Again, you've already got the ring out. Why not have done that and then put the WCW ring out and then do that? Because then you've got stuff that people are going to want to go with that.
Yep. You could have continued to do the Monday Night Wars line at Walmart, everything. Yep. Yeah. No, I know. And started with the Attitude Era, Yeah, I just think they flopped on this a little bit. I love it. I think it looks great. Again, we're not discrediting it at all for what it is and what it looks like. It's state of the art, like Seth just said. Time, technology, scale. It looks phenomenal. It's just the fact that, again, I don't know.
And I feel that they have I feel if you do the Titantron, you do it right, and you make the screen work on the Titantron.
Like you said, you try to have some video in it or something.
Yeah, and then and then if you want to pay for extra Titantron videos, you have downloadable content that you can purchase for it.
There you go.
Why aren't people taking this idea and running with it?
And something like that, if they could make for $400, now that's doable, right? I mean, guys, this is like the price of a fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, just about. You're $100 short of a PlayStation.
Let's put that into perspective. You are $100 short of a effing PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Does it make sense at this price point for what you're getting in this? Absolutely not.
I think 250, 300 would have been the sweet spot.
You're giving me a video, like Seth is saying. You're giving me video, Titantron, Raw's War, the whole package for $400 or $500. Maybe so. A couple figures on the side.
Yeah, because you got a working screen. It has technology. It has technology to it.
PlayStation 5 and I guess scale is important. I get scale. I'm not an idiot. I understand business. I understand that PlayStation could be $500 because they produce millions of these things, whatever. I get it. But still, let's be realistic, guys. I mean, if you're going to take this and make it working parts over here and this be reusable here, come on. Like there's a way to do it for cheaper, I think, price.
Absolutely.
All right, that's our hot take. Yes, so guys, thanks for joining the live stream tonight. Please rewatch this. If you are rewatching it, don't forget to comment on everything we said. We went through a lot today. Seth, I want to thank you for coming back. I'm sorry for those technical difficulties at the end.
No, we're good. We're good, man. Thanks for having me on again. It's always fun. I love the back and forth, and it's great too that we don't technically agree on everything. Otherwise the show would be kind of meh.
Yeah, no, we got to have a little banter. We got to have some disagreement here or there, and I think it's good. We've been watching wrestling for a long time. Where can everybody find you? Where can everybody look out for that blog you'll be dropping on YouTube soon?
Again, just go to my YouTube channel. It's my name, Seth Bayer. Very easy to find. I'm the only Seth Bayer on YouTube. And the same thing could be said if you want to follow me on Instagram. It's the same thing. It's Seth Bayer. You'll see me front and center. Can't miss me.
Excellent, guys and gals. And remember, all that's in the comments too, in the show description here. If you're rewatching later, you can find all the links to all of Seth's social media accounts there as well. I want to thank everybody who joined in tonight live. I think we had a few concurrent viewers, which is always great. Don't forget always to comment, join in the fun, comment, like, and subscribe to the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast Uncensored YouTube channel. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, whatnot, at SQD Circle AFP. We're at SQD Circle AFP here too. And remember, guys, until next time, you got to be here and be squared. Thanks for joining in tonight. We'll see you all soon.